Well, welcome everybody to our January 2014 New Year Park City Market Talk webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, broker here at Keller Williams Luxury Homes International in Park City.
And I'm Jeremy Wilstein, the buyer consultant for the Wilstein team. And we're here to present the January 2014 Park City Market Talk webinar.
All right, we've got lots of things going on in Park City. So we're going to share a little bit about the Olympic trials as the athletes are getting ready for the games in Russia.
And then we're going to touch on the upcoming Sundance Film Festival, which is going to be here momentarily tomorrow, and that runs January 16th through the 26th.
And then as our market is changing and we're starting to see limited inventory in certain categories or marketplaces, different strategies need to be employed. And so we're going to share with you what are the best strategies to use in today's marketplace.
And then we're going to do our usual Park City Market Talk, or Park City Real Estate Market Update, updating everybody on what's been happening in the current real estate market.
And then finally, we want to kind of look into the future and give you an idea where we see property values going. This certainly helps both buyers and sellers. And so that's on our topic. And then one last item is an application that you might enjoy having on your smartphone when you come skiing or snowboarding on the mountain. So we'll tell you a bit about it. It's pretty cool. I like it, and lets me know where I am at all times.
Even though he might not know.
Even though I may not know. Exactly. So the Winter Games, they're coming. They're just around the corner, and we want to point you to teamusa.org. In fact, I'll pop this up on the screen. Their website. Lots of Olympic excitement. And Jeremy, just share a little bit about what's been happening in terms of qualifying in Park City.
Yep, so we've had a couple different Olympic trials over the last few weeks. We had the men's and women ski jumping and Nordic combined at the Utah Olympic Park, which took place, and we've got a number of local female ski jumpers that are in the top 5 in the world, so we're excited to see them in Sochi.
Yep.
And then a couple weeks ago, or last weekend, we had the freestyle aerials and moguls Olympic trials that happened up at Deer Valley Resort with the moguls and the aerials. So that was a lot of fun last weekend as well.
Yeah, so lots of big build-up for the Olympics. And if you want to check out how the qualifying is going, just go to teamusa.org. That's their main site. If you want to zero in on the athletes as each one qualifies, you can choose Road to Sochi 2014, and that's what you're looking at right now. Right. So with that in mind, let's talk about our other main event happening starting officially tomorrow, Sundance.
Yes, Sundance, the film festival, is about to take over Park City. So if you haven't come out to the film festival, you're probably too late because there's no more accommodations. But if you have a place to stay, come on out, check it out, check out some movies. It goes on for 10 days, and big movie production, and all the celebrities come to Park City.
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, really busy, lots going on, so come and check it out.
That's right, and this website we have over the shoulder is sundance.org/festivals. You'll see what movies are available. You can also see how to get tickets, and so if you're going to come for the games, this is a nice site to reference.
For the festival.
For the festival. All right, so let's move on to our market update. We always want to share with you what's happening in terms of number of sales and prices. Now that we're looking at the first webinar for the new year, we're going to be looking back at the entire 2013, comparing against 2012. So it's a good calendar year-over-year comparison.
All right, so there were 1,386 sales in Park City over the past 12 months. So that's up 14%, or 170 sales. And this is for all homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined with all real estate brokerages.
When we break this down specifically, you're seeing now homes, condos, and lots. The homes actually are up by 12%, from 515 the previous year to last year 575. So sales went up. Condos also climbed from 553 sales in 2012 to 603 for 2013, an 11% increase. And then in land, vacant land, this is where we saw the greatest increase, climbing from 158 sales to 208, up 32%.
Wow. And taking a look at home sales specifically, inside the Park City limits, we're up 12% from 173 sales to 193. And in the Snyderville Basin area, we're actually also up 12% from 342 sales up to 382 sales in 2013.
So the inventory is being absorbed, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Condominiums, we're seeing similar increases, 11% both inside the city limits and in the Snyderville Basin. 320 sales climbed to 355 for condos inside the city limits. And in the county, 223 climbed to 248 sales.
All right.
Now let's look at vacant land.
So vacant land inside the city limits were up 9%, which was 4 sales, 44 to 48 sales in 2013. And you take a look at Snyderville Basin, we're up whopping 40%, up from 114 sales to 160. So people are picking up land. I think a lot of people are picking up land to build because now homes are a bit more expensive than buying the land and building.
That's right. Plus, financing is easier to come by now, which was difficult for a while. And many of the lots that we're marketing for property owners, we're seeing a lot more activity on over this past 6 months than we saw for several years before it. So all very positive there. Time on the market is also an indicator of the activity. The average length of time on the market was 139 days. Now it's down to 116 days, 23 days faster. So properties are moving quicker. Buyers are on the sidelines. They're ready to buy when the right property comes on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening with property prices?
So this chart is the year-over-year comparison of home median sold prices from January 2013 through December of 2013, and then we compare it to that same time period in 2012. So inside the Park City limits, we're up 21% in terms of price, up from $1,025,000 to $1,242,500. So a great 21% increase.
And I might add too that those of you who have been following our webinars, the previous year when we were reporting this, the homes within the city limits was really lagging, and now it indeed has caught up in 21% appreciation. That's awesome.
Wow. And then in the Snyderville Basin, we still had great appreciation, 13% movement in price from $625,000 to $705,250. So it broke the $700,000 mark, and inside the city broke the $1.2 million mark.
Yep. So very good news. We turn our attention to condominiums. Again, median prices for the entire calendar year inside the city limits, an increase modest, about 2% from median price of $482,500 to $492,500. Not huge, but it's going in the right direction. We like that. In the Snyderville Basin, the county area of Park City, we saw a much greater increase, 20% appreciation from median price of $270,750 to $326,250.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting on the condominiums in Snyderville Basin that in 2006, 2007, there was a lot of development going on, and units took massive hits in price, dropping nearly 50%. So there was a big rebound in price out there just because prices dropped so much, and they didn't drop quite as much inside the city limits.
That's right. That's a good point, Jeremy.
And then taking a look at lot median sold prices inside Park City limits, we're up 10%, up to $555,000. And in Snyderville Basin, we're up 12%, up $30,000 to $280,000.
All right. Now, this next chart we get to update because we're in a new year. We always like to look back at the height of the market was in 2005,
Wow.
2,912 sales. Now, that consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land. That's all real estate brokerages combined. And then, of course, the economy changed. People became very concerned about everything from real estate with the mortgage crisis to stock market. And that's where we see 2006 all the way through to 2009, just a drop year over year over year in number of sales. And now we've got 4 years in a row where we've set a record on a number of sales each year. And this is really, really positive. And you can tell just from the graph that it's very steady. And that's what you want to see in a marketplace. So we're very happy about the Park City market. And, in a moment we're going to talk a little bit about inventory, because our current inventory of listed properties are at or even a little bit below what it was in 2005 at the height of the market. And we're starting to see, when a property is priced correctly, multiple offers, and as Jeremy will testify, you got to race to a deal in some instances if it's priced correctly, because otherwise someone else will get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that leads to our next logical topic: how to buy real estate in our current market.
So as Ron alluded to, our market does have limited number of properties for sale that are priced correctly. So buyers need to take a new approach if they want to get a property. It's changed from 2010, 2011, where buyers really had a big option of properties and they could pick and choose and they could really negotiate hard with sellers. If a property comes on and it's priced well, you want to jump on it as a buyer and you want to lock that property up, because chances are if you miss that one, the next one is going to be even more expensive.
That's right. So we want to give you 4 important considerations if you're a buyer thinking about buying, how to go about it the best way so that you come away with the property you want.
So first you need to determine how many acceptable properties are out there for sale. So with our limited inventory, this is going to be shrunken down a bit, but if you're flexible with different areas in Park City and different condo projects, then it's a bit easier to find those properties. If you need to be in, a few block radius of the resort or Deer Valley or Canyons, shrinks down the available properties. So just take into account how many properties are available. If there's not many available, then when that right property comes on, you really need to go after it.
Second thing is, of course, you want to determine the fair market value for the property you're looking to buy. Sellers can list a property at any number that they want. Is it priced right or is it overpriced? If it's priced correctly, your strategy will be to act quickly if it's the right property for you. If it's overpriced, then we can give you more direction as to strategies so that we get the price to a fair price if you're looking to buy.
Yeah, and keeping in mind that in our elevating market, that especially with condo projects, one condo might sell for X dollars and another condo might come on for 5-10% more, sometime in that range. It's not unlikely that they'll get an offer and they'll move that price up because there's such low inventory of properties. So it might be a little overpriced now, but it might not be overpriced next week.
Yeah, it can change that quickly, literally.
Third consideration is how long has the property been on the market for? When sellers are listing properties and they're new to the market, just a week on the market, even a couple of days, it's less likely that you can negotiate hard with them. And you might be able to, as long as another buyer doesn't come in and put an offer in. Because if you can negotiate just the buyer and the seller for an extended amount of time, you can probably get to a price. But the moment another buyer comes in, which is highly likely, and turns into a multiple offer situation, the whole game changes.
Entirely. You want to avoid that if you're a buyer, if you can. If you're a seller, you wish for that to happen.
Yeah. As a buyer, you want to avoid that and lock up the property so you don't have to negotiate against another buyer and the seller.
That's right. Our fourth thing is write your offer relatively close to the fair market value of the property if it has been on the market less than 45 days. And again, the assumption is that if a property has been priced correctly, it's going to sell within that period of time. And so you want to be close to that list price. If a property has been on the market at an extended period of time and it hasn't sold, well, then you probably have a seller who maybe has a little more room to negotiate. Maybe he or she's wondering why it hasn't sold. So the strategy is a little bit different. But in today's marketplace, between fair market value and net days on the market, that will influence your correct decision when it comes to what to offer a seller on the property you want to buy.
Yeah, and for buyers, when you get close on negotiations, again, I keep harping on this. Another buyer might come in and put it in an offer. You don't want to, you want to save as much money. You want to get the property the best possible deal, but you don't want to miss out on the property and wait for the next one to come on and have to pay more money for it. So when negotiations get close, you put the deal together, put it to bed, and you'll make up the money probably on the next sale of the next one that comes on the market.
Yep. All right, so that leads to, well, with that in mind, what is expected for property values in the future? And so we thought we would wrap up with this topic here today. Prices will likely rise in the future, but not huge increases. It's not going to be like it was many years ago where things just out of control took off. But we're expecting steady increases, and certainly the graph that we've shown you and the data we're showing you supports that. Mm-hmm. So if the inventory is limited, we can assume that prices will rise more quickly, as Jeremy's pointed out, sometimes from one sale to the next. So if you're a buyer,
and you're a serious buyer, get on it and buy something now, because prices are just keep moving up. We know it. We've got the data to support that we're in increasing marketplace. There's not a lot of other indicators to suggest that we're decreasing. And then also there's word that, the Feds have been talking about hiring interest rates, and eventually they're going to have to do it. So might as well lock in those low rates that they are right now, sub 4.5, and enjoy your property and come out to Park City and go skiing and check out the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah, there you go. Now, if you're looking to sell, you have a little different choice. You can either try for the next new high price, and that is a strategy that sellers are using. And frankly, when we've been assisting sellers, we've been effective at helping them set records for new high prices. Can't go off the charts. It has to be reasonable, but the demand is great enough and the supply limited enough that that's an opportunity for a lot of sellers. The other option that, of course, you have as a property owner is you could put off selling now in anticipation of prices rising in the future. So it all depends what your situation is. If you have an objective to selling, maybe you want to invest elsewhere or just want to get your hands on those proceeds, then now is the time to do it. Strong market, a lot of buyers out there, that's positive. If you're in no hurry, maybe the right decision is to wait a little bit, and you might actually sell for more down the road. Every situation is different, and so we can't really speak to what's best for you. We just want you to know those are two very valid strategies for a property owner in today's market. Speaking of that, I recently recorded a webinar on how to price your property to sell in today's market. If you want to watch it, it's brief and it's to the point, takes into account Park City's unique marketplace. Go to viewparkcityrealestate.com/price right, or you can go to thewillsteinteam.com/price right. That take you to the same location. Check out that webinar, and that may assist you when you're trying to decide what is the right property price for your property. Now, finally, I want to mention this. I'm going to grab my phone here because I really like this application, and I don't get excited about too many applications. This is what I take when I go skiing, and it's called Ski Tracks, and we've blown up some of the images on the screen. This is pretty cool. You ski, it tells you each run how fast you were skiing, how much distance you went, what altitudes you were at. And you can see it. It counts your slopes for the day, and some of us like to count how many chairlift rides we were on. Yeah. And it actually, from this slide to the right here, it shows you each chairlift ride that you take, how long you were on it. It's really cool. And when you're out skiing, you can take pictures and link them to the resorts and put in notes. And finally, this slide over here, and I'm only showing you a couple of the screens. Ski run number 1 took 10 minutes, 23 seconds. Next one, 10:27. It just keeps track of it and your miles, and you see what you're putting in. There's a bunch of applications that do this. This one would cost you a whopping 99 cents, so it's not free, but it's really nice. So snowboarders, skiers, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, brag to your friends.
That's right. Oh, and you can set it up so you can compete with your friends too.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of that. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up now. If you happen to have any questions, by all means, either call or email us. Ron at thewillsteinteam.com or
Jeremy at thewillsteinteam.com.
And if you want us to call you back, let us know your phone number. We're happy to contact you whatever time is best for you. But we're glad that you've joined us today. Thank you for participating. We'll update this webinar again next month, February 11th, and check out our old ones if that's of interest to you. We covered lots of topics. So thank you very much, and enjoy the skiing, the Sundance, and the Olympics.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.